Good morning and welcome to Joliet, Illinois and Route 66 Stadium for the Fighting Saints and the Grandview Vikings in Game 3 of a three-game weekend series. Happy to have you with us for today's contest as the Saints look to make it 3 in a row against Grandview. They're going for their 10th consecutive win overall. My name is Terry Bonadonna on the call for today's match. And we are just about ready to go as Grandview leads things off with Connor Enox facing Mac Malshevsky, the starting pitcher for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. Malshevsky stands atop the mound, ready to go. His first pitch is popped up foul behind home plate and out of play for strike one. We're underway at 11:55 a.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on Connor Enox, the leadoff batter for Grandview, entered the series hitting at .217 for the year. Enox takes the ball inside, and it looks like it brushed by him. And he's going to be given first base, hit by the pitch. Second pitch of the ball game hits Connor Enox. And he's down at first base now with nobody out in front of Drew Prange, and a good start for the Vikings. Always nice when you get to take your base and you don't have to have a big bruise to show for it. That one just barely skimmed by his arm on its way into the catcher's glove. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting lineup. Connor Enox, of course, the left fielder leading off, and Drew Prange in the batter's box now. He's at third base. Tyler Smith is on deck. Smith is the shortstop. Barring a double play, we will see cleanup batter and center fielder Isaac Rodriguez this inning. That ball hit high into the air, shallow center field. Backing up and making the catch is the second baseman, John Peterson. Prange is retired on the first pitch, and he is the first out of the ball game. 1 on, 1 out for Tyler Smith. Josh Luna hits fifth. Luna is at first base. Hitting sixth, right fielder Chase Hartleben. Sergio Alanis hits seventh and plays second base. Dan Peterson is the designated hitter, and batting ninth is the catcher, Caleb McDowell. Tyler Smith stands in and takes strike one from Mac Malshevsky. Malshevsky on the mound today for the Fighting Saints, getting the start for the fourth time this year. In his first three outings, he's gone 2-1 with a 3.65 earned run average. He's gone a total of 12 and a third innings and allowed 8 runs, 5 of them earned on 14 hits, with 6 strikeouts and 11 walks. Swing and a miss from Smith makes the count 0-2. Malshevsky fires the next one to Smith. It's floated out to left field down the line. Long run into foul territory. A dive by Vinny Schroeder in the bullpen. He can't quite come up with it, but he's able to get himself up pretty well, and that's a positive considering how dangerous a dive in that area is, right on top of the bullpen pitcher's mound. It's a tough spot to be running at a dead sprint, and he dove just feet away from the fence, but he was able to come up fine. It's a foul ball for Tyler Smith. And the count remains 0-2. Runner at first base, 1 out in the top of the first inning. Malshevsky glances at the runner. Freshman right-hander misses high for a ball. It's 1-2. 6 feet 4 inches tall, 210 pounds. In his first year out of Prospect High School. He's got 1 out in the first inning and a 1-2 count on the top hitter for Grandview, Tyler Smith. That's ball 2. The count is even. Tyler Smith entered the series hitting .250, and he added to that with a big day yesterday. Had a pair of hits in the opening game and went 1 for 2 in game 2 of the doubleheader. Fouled off to the left side and out of play. Good long at bat here for Smith. He'll see a 7th pitch. The count's still 2-2. Enox is at first. He was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. He takes a short lead from first base. 2-2 offering is swung on and hit in the air, shallow right field. Coming in is Travis Schoonover. He makes the grab. 2 outs. Enox remains at first base, and the batter is Isaac Rodriguez. No score, just underway here in Joliet. A dreary day in Joliet. Clouds overhead, chance for some rain a little bit later on today. Isaac Rodriguez takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Rodriguez had a nice day yesterday. He tripled and scored the only run in game 2 of that doubleheader. The Saints won it 8-1. He chops this ball down the first base line, foul. Count is 1-1. In both games yesterday, Grandview led 1-0. In both games, they fell apart after that. St. Francis took the opener 5-1. In game 2, 8-1. Rodriguez fouls off another one. Enox was running with that pitch, but he'll have to return to first base with a 1-2 count now on the Grandview cleanup man. Connor Enox is 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts this year. Grandview as a team has not been caught stealing, but they don't run very much. In 12 games, just 6 stolen base attempts. And naturally 6 stolen bases. Runner goes, another swing, and another foul ball off to the right side. This one through the air. It lands out of play. Still 1-2. And again, Enox has to retreat to first base. Enox has been standing over at first base for a while. Had not attempted to steal at any point during the last few at-bats, but now on consecutive pitches to Isaac Rodriguez. He has left early from first, and as a result, Mac Malshevsky has decided to pay a little bit closer attention to him as he throws over to first. 1-2 to Rodriguez. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and the inning is over. Nice first inning for Mac Malshevsky. The freshman hit the leadoff batter, but retired the next 3 men in order. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. St. Francis will get their first chance at bat in a scoreless tie. Bottom of the first inning, no score after Grandview went hitless in the top half of the first. And now the Saints come to bat for the first time. Travis Schoonover set to lead off, playing right field. Batting second is the shortstop Dustin Kroeb. Jake Lasota bats third. He's the designated hitter. Hitting cleanup, first baseman Anthony Farron. Jonathan Wolf hits fifth and plays third base. Hitting sixth and doing the catching, Adam Cebulka. John Peterson is at second base. Vinny Schroeder hits eighth and plays left field. And batting ninth, center fielder Bailey Schultz. The starting 9 for the Fighting Saints is going up against a young left-hander for the Grandview Vikings by the name of Tanner Heyman. Starting for the 4th time this year, he's 1-2 with a 3.94 ERA. In 16 innings pitched, he's allowed 8 runs, 7 of them earned on 13 hits with 9 strikeouts and 3 walks. Opponents are betting a scant .217 against Tanner Heyman this year. He's been very good, as has most of the Grandview pitching staff. Vikings entered play today with a 3-9 record for the season, but it has not been because of their pitching, which has been good up and down the rotation. Heyman's first pitch is over the outside corner for strike 1 on Travis Schoonover. Schoonover entered the series hitting .338. Didn't have a big day at the bat yesterday afternoon as he swings through strike 2. He's in a quick 0-2 hole. He did reach base a couple of times in game 1 and then scored a run and drove in a run in game 2 despite not collecting any hits. Ball outside, 1-2. He drew a bases loaded walk as part of a 7-run 6th inning rally yesterday afternoon. There's an RBI walk, and then he later scored in the same inning. Ball downstairs, the count evens at 2. Game 2 of yesterday's twin bill was decided in the 6th inning when St. Francis scored 7 runs to break a 1-1 tie. Schoonover pops it foul and out of play, still 2-2. Overall, yesterday, a couple of well-pitched ball games. Certainly, St. Francis's pitchers did the job. 4 different guys combined to hold Grandview to just 2 runs in 14 total innings. Bounced foul to the right side, still 2-2. Lefty versus lefty matchup here. Heyman gets set to go into the windup. Pitch on its way, and Schoonover taps it right back to the pitcher. He picks it up and throws over to first, 1 away in the bottom of the first inning. That brings up Dustin Krob at his first appearance in the lineup in nearly a week. He's missed the last 3 games, but starting shortstop back in there. Good to see him with his .308 batting average. He's got 3 extra base hits, including a homer, and 6 RBIs. Starting at shortstop once again today, the 19th time that he has been the starting shortstop out of 25 games this year, and the first pitch he swings at is lined sharply into left field for a base hit. Under the glove of the third baseman, Drew Prange. He had a chance to make the play, but it got on him too quickly. Couldn't get his glove down fast enough, and a smash single for Krob. Welcome back to the lineup with a single. Here's Jake Lasota. Lasota had a big day yesterday, in particular Game 2 of the doubleheader. In Game 1, he went hitless, but in Game 2, he went 3 for 4, including 2 doubles, both in the same inning. Lasota takes the first pitch breaking ball for a strike over the inside corner. He had 3 RBIs and led to a run scoring. When I say he led to a run scoring, he reached base, and his pinch runner is the one who actually crossed the plate. 1 on, 1 out as Lasota takes a ball inside. It's 1-1. Saints trying to strike first for the first time in this series. They've got a man at first base with 1 down as Lasota bounces it foul down the third baseline. He's in a 1-2 hole. St. Francis's offense yesterday was slow to get going in both games against some tough pitchers. Kyle Duncan pitched to Gem through 5 innings in Game 2. It was the bullpen that fell apart with 6 combined walks in the 6th inning alone. There's a bouncer right back to the pitcher. Heyman gloves it, throws to second for 1. The relay throw is high. Is there a tag? There is not. Lasota safe at first base. Should have been an easy double play, but a bad throw from the shortstop, Tyler Smith, helps the Saints out. No error on the play. They did get it out, but it goes as a fielder's choice, 1-6, and the inning persists for first baseman Anthony Farron. Farron, a right-handed hitter, entered the series hitting .468. Batting for the first time in this game. Farron takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. A bad throw defensively there from Tyler Smith kept the inning going. Pulled Josh Luna off the bag. Luna came down with the glove, tried to apply the tag on Lasota going by, and just missed him. Or maybe got him a little bit too late after he'd already touched first base. But that's a gaffe you can't really afford to make with the star hitter on the team coming up now. He could have been up with the bases empty to start the 2nd inning. Instead, a man on first base, 2 outs in the first, and he sends one out to right field. Backing up and able to make the play is Chase Hartleben. So Farron hit it hard the other way, but it was playable, and Hartleben retires Farron to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We head to the 2nd inning of play, 2nd out of 9 today, and St. Francis and Grandview are scoreless. Josh Luna leads off the top of the second inning for Grandview and takes ball one outside. No score after an inning of play here in Joliet. Luna, Hartleben, and Alanis due up against Mac Malshevsky, who looked sharp in the first inning. Hit the leadoff batter, but then retired the next three in order, including one on a strikeout. There's a swing and a miss from Luna. Count is 1-1. Luna at first base in today's game for Grandview. He's been the first baseman all three games this weekend as he flies this ball out to right field towards the line. Appears to be playable for Schoonover, staying in fair territory by just about a step. He makes the catch down in the corner for out number one. That's four straight, retired by Malshevsky. And he faces the right fielder Chase Hartleben for the first time. Hartleben started one game in yesterday's doubleheader, went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a double play, so a tough day for him. He checks his swing and takes ball one inside. Chase Hartleben on the season came in with just a 1 for 4 mark next to his name statistically. And he's now 1 for 8 on the season as he takes a ball low. Count is 2-0. He came out as a pinch hitter in game one and bunted his way out into a fielder's choice. He was looking for a sacrifice at the time. Takes the ball high, 3-0. First time that we've seen some control issues for Malshevsky as he's fallen very quickly behind Hartleben. 3 balls and no strikes. And there's one in the zone. It's 3-1. Certainly it's been an issue for Malshevsky this year despite a 3.65 ERA. Very strong through 3 games. He has had control issues as this ball is pushed foul to the right side. The count goes full. 11 walks for the freshman in just 12 1/3 innings entering play today. 2 hit batters and 5 wild pitches through just those 12 1/3 innings. There's a sharp liner up the middle for Hartleben and a base hit out to center. First hit of the ball game for Grandview. It's their second base runner, and it snaps a string of 4 in a row. Retired by Mac Malshevsky. There's a man on with 1 out for Sergio Alanis. Hartleben has his first hit of the series. It's his second hit of the season. And when you've only had 10 or fewer at-bats, the average can go one way or another in a hurry. He was batting 125 at the start of that at-bat, and with a single to center field, he's now up to 222. Sergio Alanis takes ball one upstairs. 1-0. On the Grandview second baseman, wearing number 1 on his back. He takes a strike to even the count. That number is in black, outlined in white. The jerseys are red for Grandview, and they wear the gray pants as visiting team. The Saints have changed up the uniforms today. They were in white yesterday. Today they wear their brown duds with white pants. Alanis takes a strike. The count is 1-2. No score in the top of the second inning. Grandview trying to change that with a man at first base and 1 out. 1-2 pitch from Malshevsky to Alanis is behind him for a ball. 2-2. Malshevsky fortunate that ball didn't hit the Grandview second baseman. Again, he's already hit 1 batter today and now is up to 3 for the season, which might not sound like a huge number by itself, but in just 14 innings, now 13 2/3 innings, including today, that's a lot. Ball outside, 3-2, and especially when you tack on the 11 walks. So he walks or hits more than a batter per inning. And he's fallen behind Alanis here. It was 1-2, now it's 3-2. The count is full with Don Peterson waiting in the on-deck circle. Grandview is threatening to put 2 men on base for the first time all day. It's only the second inning. Neither side has yet had 2 men on base simultaneously. Grandview won't get him right now as Alanis takes strike 3. Thought he had ball 4. He was making his way down to first base, but he is rung up in the batter's box. And he'll head back to the dugout as the second strikeout victim of the game for Mac Malshevsky. 2 down. That's a big strikeout. 3-2 pitch. Could have had runners at first and second, 1 out if Alanis had his way and got the call there. Instead, runner at first, 2 outs, and Don Peterson takes ball 1 high. Peterson hitless on the season. He's 0 for 8, including a ground out yesterday. Dan Peterson flies it out to left field. Coming in is Schroeder. He makes the call and the catch to end the inning. Fly out to left field. And Mac Malshevsky pitches around the one-out Chase Hartleben single. We're going to go to the bottom of the second inning. St. Francis will try to break a scoreless tie. Jonathan Wolf leads off the bottom of the second inning. No score between a couple of teams with good young pitchers on the mound at different ends of their collegiate careers. Tanner Heyman misses down low for ball one on Wolf. We're underway in the bottom of the second inning. Heyman, a senior who's pitched well so far this season, and Malshevsky for St. Francis, a freshman and a very promising one who's off to a great start to his college career. Fly ball down the right field line into foul territory and unreachable for the right fielder Chase Hartleben. He slides down in the corner to try to make the grab, can't come up with it, and now he's slow to get himself back up. He is up and limping around down in the right field corner. I talked about it a couple of innings ago when Vinny Schroeder pulled a similar move. He dove in the bullpen to try to make a catch, couldn't do it, but a risky area to pull off something like that, and Chase Hartleben is recognizing the same thing right now. He didn't dive. He slid feet first trying to make that catch. Came up just short in foul territory. And then came up limping. He was slow to get up. Took him an extra 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds before he was able to actually pull himself up off the ground. And once he did, he started limping back and forth, clearly not very comfortable at the moment. Training staff is on its way out to take a look at him and hope that he's all right. We'll see if Grandview is forced to make a change here in the bottom of the second inning. No score. Both teams have had base runners, but neither team's been able to get them around. In fact, nobody's made it beyond first base yet today, despite the fact that in each half inning we've had at least one base runner. Hartleben is now jogging down the right field line, parallel to the foul line, from the bullpen down to the wall in the outfield, trying to prove to himself and to the trainers and coaches that he's able to continue in this game. So we'll see if they are able to stick with him. It certainly looks better right now than it could have been. Anytime you see a guy that slow to get himself back up after a slide in the outfield, you worry it could be something serious, and for Hartleben, it doesn't seem as though it is. He is going to stay in the game in right field. So we'll persist here with nobody on, nobody out, a 1-1 count on Jonathan Wolf. We've got a good little break there in the middle of the at-bat as the training staff tended to Chase Hartleben, and now we're ready to continue. Tanner Heyman into the windup, the 1-1 to Wolf. Swung on and lifted right back out to right field. Hartleben gets another chance coming into foul ground. He can't get there. It drops just inside the line, a fair ball, and extra bases for Jonathan Wolf, who pulls up at second with a double. That's a ball that Hartleben probably catches 9 out of 10 times. But when that one time is one pitch after he just came up limping from a slide, that's just unfair. I don't think it was intentional from Jonathan Wolf, but he couldn't have planned it any better for himself than to hit a pop-up into a tough spot for a guy who just got hurt. And it turns into a bloop double right down the line, just about a foot or two inside the foul line, down the right field line. And a big double to start the inning. Here's Adam Cebulka. Cebulka doing the catching today for St. Francis. Swings the first pitch and grounds it foul down the third base line for strike one. I'm sure Chase Hartleben out in right field was thinking he's okay to stay in the game, but maybe give him a few minutes before you hit him a ball again. Let him rest that leg for a few minutes or so, but he didn't get even 2 pitches. The very next pitch after he was hurt, Jonathan Wolf put the ball right back in his vicinity. So that's a tough break for Grandview, knowing that under normal conditions, Hartleben almost certainly would have caught that ball. But you could see him limping even as he was running in for it down the line. 0-1 on Cebulka. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Adam Cebulka yesterday went 0 for 3 in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Did not play in Game 1. 220 hitter overall. He bats with a runner at second and nobody out, trying at least to advance him by hitting the ball to the right side. He hits it to the left side. On the ground, it's played by the shortstop Tyler Smith. Smith's throw to first is in time for the out, and Jonathan Wolf stays put at second base. Cebulka unable to get his job done as he was looking to hit the ball to the right, hit it right at the shortstop Tyler Smith instead. Turns into a relatively easy play, holding Jonathan Wolf at second. He's there with one down for John Peterson. Peterson, like Cebulka before him, did not start Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. Played well in Game 2. He went 1 for 3 with a single, an RBI walk, and a run scored. First pitch to Peterson is bunted, third base side, and foul. It was in the air, but not very high. The catcher, Caleb McDowell, tried to make a diving play on it. Came up a little bit short for strike one. Not a great bunt there from Peterson, and a fine effort from Caleb McDowell, even though he was unable to make the catch. It wasn't a pop-up. It almost went straight down, but McDowell, with that great diving effort, nearly was able to get to it anyway. Here comes the 0-1. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Jonathan Wolf's bloop double began the inning. The Saints are trying to get him in for the first run of the game. Remember, St. Francis has not scored first in any game this series, going back to yesterday's doubleheader. Fouled off to the right side, 1-2. Peterson looks to bunt on the first pitch, but pulled it foul. On the 2 pitches since then, he has kept the bat back and looked to swing away. He did swing at that last pitch, hitting the foul ball and making the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Heyman now has a chance to put him away on the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and flown into left field, shallow. Coming in is Connor Enox. Enox makes the catch, and again, Jonathan Wolf is forced to hold at second base. Here's Vinny Schroeder. Vinny Schroeder is getting his first at-bat in a while. We haven't seen him really at all during the homestand. I believe this is his first start of the season. Freshman outfielder. Schroeder from Manhattan, Illinois. Batting 8th and playing left field in today's game. He takes ball 1 outside. Trying to pull up the clutch 2-out hit. Wolf led off the inning with a double, but he's been stranded over at second ever since. Next pitch from Heyman to Schroeder, lefty versus lefty. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Heyman taking a good long look back at second base before that pitch. And we'll see if he does it again, but with 2 outs now, paying very close attention to Jonathan Wolf, who doubled to lead off the inning. Another glance to second. Now the 1-1. Schroeder pushes it foul to the left side. It's 1-2, and the Saints are down to their final strike this inning. If Schroeder should reach base, Bailey Schultz would bat next. Trying to keep the inning alive, Heyman was 1 strike away from putting the Saints back out into the field. He gets the sign from Caleb McDowell and sets the 1-2. Popped foul and out of play. Schroeder stays alive. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Heyman's been a great strike thrower so far today. Got Travis Schoonover to ground out on a 2-2 pitch to lead off his ball game. Since then, he has not gone to 2 balls on any St. Francis hitter. It's 1-2 right now on Schroeder. Popped up down the left field line. Could be trouble for Grandview. Diving for that ball is the shortstop Tyler Smith, and he can't come up with it. It drops in for a base hit. Coming in to score is Jonathan Wolf. It's a sliding double for Vinny Schroeder, and the Saints take a 1-0 lead. Nice piece of 2-strike hitting there by Schroeder, who picks up the first RBI of his season. And some good luck for St. Francis here in this second inning. Both of their hits are bloop doubles right down the line. The one that Wolf hit would have been caught most likely under normal circumstances, but with an injured player out in right field, he couldn't get to it. And this one was not hit hard by Schroeder at all, but just plopped in the exact right spot on the field. Bailey Schultz fouls back the first pitch off the screen, strike 1. Saints will gladly take the good fortune they've found this inning, with the balls finding just the right spots on the defense. Now they still have a man at second base with 2 outs and an opportunity to add to their lead. 0-1 on Bailey Schultz. He takes the strike. It's 0-2. Schultz yesterday went 0 for 2 with a stolen base. He walked, scored a run, and drove 1 in. St. Francis had 3 different RBI walks, all in 1 inning during Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. That was during the bottom of the 6th inning. Oh, 0-2 on Schultz, a 146 batter for the year. Trying to get this runner in from second base. He takes a breaker outside for a ball, 1-2. We're back to the top of the order if Schultz reaches base. 2 doubles and a run for St. Francis has gotten the scoring started here in the bottom of the second inning. The 1-2 to Schultz. Hit in the air, high in the air, left side of the infield. Playable for Tyler Smith, who barely had to move. He makes the catch and ends the inning. But a good inning for St. Francis. 1 run on 2 doubles. They leave a man at second. And we head to the third. 1-0. St. Francis is on top. It's 1-0 St. Francis as we begin the top of the third inning, and Caleb McDowell takes ball 1 from Mac Malshevsky. McDowell, and then the top of the order, Connor Enox and Drew Prange. As Grandview hits from behind for the first time today, McDowell takes the ball, 2-0. They had base runners in the first and the second innings, but were unable to advance them. Connor Enox was hit by a pitch to lead off the ball game, but was left at first base. And then with 1 out in the second inning, Chase Hartleben singled, but he was also left at first base. 3-0 on McDowell. So they've not only not been able to drive runs in, they haven't been able to get them over so far. There's a called strike. It's 3-1. 3-1 on Caleb McDowell, struggling to hit so far this season. He's got just one safety on the year. He takes a called strike 2. The count goes full. McDowell was 1 for 12 entering the series, and now he's 1 for 15. He hits a grounder down the third base line. Tough sliding play by Jonathan Wolf, and he has no play over at first base. It's an infield single for Caleb McDowell. And once again, they get an early base runner. Every inning in today's game, they've had a base runner with 1 out or fewer. We'll see if they break through here in the third now that they're trailing. Trying to tie the score up or take a lead with a multi-run inning. McDowell hugged that one right down the third base line. Wolf made a good effort on it. Not a whole lot he could have done, though. He knocked it down by the time he got to his feet and looked to first base. McDowell was just about there. Connor Enoch swings at the first pitch and fouls it to the left side for strike 1. Top of the third inning. 0-1 on Connor Enoch. Tying run over at first base. The 0-1 pitch. He shows bunt, takes the ball, and now they've got McDowell caught between first and second. Farron runs him back to second, tosses over to Peterson, who applies the tag, and there's out number 1. So I think that was a sacrifice attempt, or maybe it was just some confusion between Enoch and McDowell. McDowell thought Enoch was going to drop the bunt down. He ended up pulling the bat back and taking a ball. And McDowell got caught well too far off of first base. 1-1 now. A swing from Enoch and a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Peterson calls off Farron and makes the catch 2 away. So McDowell caught stealing. Enoch pops out. And the batter's Drew Prange. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out to second base himself. 2 outs, base is empty. Ball 1 out, strike 1 over the outside corner. For the third straight inning, Grandview gets an early base runner and is unable to advance him. Ball inside, 1-1. The last 2 innings, you could say that their hitters didn't do a great job of getting the runners over. This time it's the runner's fault. He got himself caught up between first and second. Strike called, 1-2. Unless the real problem on that McDowell caught stealing was that Enoch had missed the sacrifice sign and pulled the bunt back when he wasn't supposed to. Ball outside, 2-2. Well, even then, McDowell should have stayed closer to the bag, I guess. Called strike 3. The inning is over. So Malshevsky has no problem after giving up the leadoff infield single. He mows him down from that point on, and another 0 on the scoreboard. We head to the bottom of the third. USF leading GVU 1-0. Top of the order for the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the third inning. Travis Schoonover leads things off, leading 1-0. Schoonover is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher to begin the first inning of play. He takes a ball low. It's 1-0. New outfield for Grandview. The right fielder Chase Hartleben, you'll recall, came up limping after a sliding attempt in the last inning. It bothered him a couple of plays later, or one pitch later actually. Schoonover hits a grounder down the first base line. That's foul. The count is 2-1. So he was unable to chase down a fly ball to shallow right field, turned into a double, and a big one because it led to a St. Francis run. Hartleben apparently about 10 minutes later now still not feeling too well in that leg. So they've made a substitution. Marcus Cheeves is out there now. Schoonover takes a strike. Count even at 2. 2-2 on Schoonover. Leading off the bottom of the third. He takes the ball outside, goes full. Tanner Heyman, the starting pitcher for Grandview today, has not walked anybody, hasn't struck anybody out through 2 innings. He's given up 3 hits, but he hasn't been hit hard, aside from Dustin Kroeb's single in the first. That ball is slapped on the left field line and just foul. Just foul from Schoonover, and he did hit that ball fairly well, so the baseball gods give you some and they take some away as well. Last inning, Saints got that run on 2 hits, both of them doubles and both of them shallow bloopers, one to right field, one to left. They did the trick, though neither of them was hit particularly hard. Called strike 3. Schoonover goes down looking for out number 1 here in the third. First strikeout of the ball game for the left-hander Tanner Heyman. Entering play today, he had 9 strikeouts in 16 innings. Not a big strikeout artist. But in those 16 innings, he had also walked only 3. You can get away with few strikeouts when you have even fewer walks. That 3-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio, pretty darn impressive. As Dustin Kroeb takes strike 1. He also doesn't give up very many hits. There's a grounder to third base, picked up cleanly by Drew Prange. The throw to first is in time. 2 down. That'll bring up Jake Lasota. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third inning, and now Tanner Heyman is looking for not only his first 1-2-3 inning, but the first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Jake Lasota is 0 for 1. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning, and he takes the ball low and in here. 1-0 the count. Heyman ready to go quickly, back into the windup. Lasota grounds it foul to the left. It's 1-1. Base is empty with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 St. Francis leads. Pitch to Lasota. Check swing, fly down the right field line and foul. It's 1-2. That ball carried pretty well for a pitch that Lasota didn't even mean to swing at. He tried to pull his swing back, but left the bat hat out there, made contact, and hit it down the right field line, just foul by 4 or 5 feet. It goes as a strike, and he's behind in the count, 1-2. He takes one down low, 2-2. Lasota trying to extend this inning. Heyman looking for a perfect bottom of the third. Grounder right back to the pitcher on 1 hop, fielded by Heyman. The throw to first is in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Saints in the third, the first perfect inning of the game. We'll head to inning number 4, 1-0 St. Francis. 3, 4, and 5 in the batting order, due up for Grandview in the top of the 4th inning as they try to erase a 1-run deficit. Tyler Smith takes the ball low and in from Mac Malshevsky to get things started here. Smith is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field back in the 1st inning. Malshevsky, a tall right-hander, pitches from the stretch at all times and misses outside for ball 2. Count is 2-0. Malshevsky's fallen behind hitters consistently in the early innings today, but he hasn't walked anybody. So it's worked out for him overall. He misses downstairs on this pitch, 3-0. This is not his first 3-0 count of the game, but again, he's been able to come back and get hitters primarily. We'll see if he can do it again. Well, there's a good start. Nope, never mind. Thought he was calling it a strike. He's pointing down to first base. That's a walk. The first walk issued today by by Mac Malshevsky. Tanner Heyman on the other side, pitching for Grandview today. A leadoff base runner. And the batter is Isaac Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 1. Struck out swinging in the 1st. He takes a ball inside with the runner on the move. Throw to second base is not in time. A good jump from Tyler Smith as he steals second. The count is 1-0 on Rodriguez. 5 straight balls to start the inning thrown by Malshevsky. And now good shape here for Grandview offensively as they look to at least tie the score. This is the first time they've gotten a man in a scoring position today. It is, however, the 3rd time in 4 innings that they've gotten their leadoff man on base. Fouled off to the left side by Rodriguez and out of play, strike 1. First strike thrown this inning by Malshevsky. Rodriguez is one of 3 early strikeout victims for Mac Malshevsky. This time he pops it up to shallow right center field. Peterson goes back, and the second baseman calls off the 2 outfielders closing in and makes the catch. There's a big first out of the inning, holding Smith at second base. And it brings to the plate first baseman Josh Luna. Luna hitting .200 entering play today. Yesterday, he went 0 for 3 in Game 1 and then 0 for 2 in Game 2, but he reached base a combined total of 3 times, 2 walks and an error. He hits a foul ball down the third base line for strike 1 in this at-bat, and he's in a small 0-1 hole. Runner goes for third. The pitch is high for a ball. Throw to third base. Got him in time for out number 2. Tyler Smith caught trying to steal third base, and that's a big second out of the inning. The bases are empty now. First time all year that a Grandview player has been caught trying to steal. Tyler Smith had not attempted a stolen base prior to this inning. He stole second safely, but was out at third. And the count is 1-1 on Luna as Malshevsky now pitches with the bases empty, trying to get out of the inning. Popped up by Luna on the infield. First baseman Anthony Farron is under it. He makes the catch and ends the inning. A very promising start to the 4th for Grandview goes nowhere as Smith is caught stealing and back-to-back pop-ups end the threat. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. St. Francis 1, Grandview nothing. St. Francis 1, Grandview nothing as we move into the bottom of the 4th inning. Anthony Farron leads things off for St. Francis. Farron hit the ball hard his first time up, but he lined it out to the right fielder, Chase Hartleben at the time. He's 0 for 1. He takes a big swing at the first pitch from Tanner Heyman for strike one to begin the bottom of the fourth. Farron, Wolf, and Cebulka are due to hit here in this fourth inning. Facing Tanner Heyman, who's been good through three. He's retired the last 4 batters he's faced, 6 of the last 7. He's only given up 3 base runners through 3 innings, a single and 2 doubles. Ball outside, 1-1. His 2 doubles were both bloopers. The single was hard hit by Dustin Krob back in the first. Farron hits it high and deep out to center field. It seems to be playable for Isaac Rodriguez, who tracks it over to his left, and makes the grab for the first out of the inning. 5 in a row set down by Heyman, and the batter is Jonathan Wolf. Wolf is 1 for 1. He had the first of the 2 bloop doubles. He had an interesting at bat in the second inning. On a 1-0 pitch, he popped one down the right field line. Chase Hartleben ran after it, slid to try to make the catch, came up limping as he was unable to make the play on what turned out to be a foul ball. And then just 1 pitch later, after we had about a 2 to 3 minute delay while Hartleben tested his leg out, the very next pitch, Wolf flew it out to right field and made Hartleben chase it again. And he couldn't catch up to it. Turned into a double. Wolf hits a foul ball to make the count here, 1-1. Wolf later scored the game's so far only run. Ground ball to the shortstop. Tyler Smith gloves it. Fires to first. 2 down. That brings up Adam Cebulka. Cebulka grounded out to the shortstop in the second inning. He's 0 for 1 in the game. Saints lead 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning, but they're trying to avoid their second consecutive 1-2-3 inning at the plate as Cebulka takes strike one. Eight of the last 9 batters have been retired by Tanner Heyman, who misses outside for ball 1. 1-1 count on the right-handed hitting catcher. Heyman winds up and delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Just 1 strikeout so far in the game for the senior southpaw. Gunning for number 2 to end the fourth inning. The 1-2 pitch. He's got it. Swing and a miss, and the inning does come to a close. 7 straight set down by Heyman. He's been good, but so far not good enough. After 4 innings of play, St. Francis leads Grandview 1-0. As we start the fifth inning, St. Francis holds a 1-0 lead over Grandview. Mac Malshevsky back to the mound. He's pitched 4 strong innings so far. His first pitch to Marcus Chiefs, taken for a strike. One for one with a single. That was Chase Hartlebend's stat line today. Fouled back, 0-2. And that was one of only 2 hits through the first 4 innings against the right-hander Malshevsky. He had to depart, Hartlebend that is, after an injury last inning. This is Marcus Chiefs' first at bat of the game. Fly ball down the left field line. Long run for Vinny Schroeder in a foul ground, and he can't get there. It drops for a foul ball. Still 0-2. Right-hander sets and delivers outside, ball 1. Through 4 innings, Grandview has had 4 base runners. They've had exactly 1 in every inning. Only once have they been able to advance him as far as second base. That ball is flown out to left field, backing up Schroeder. He pulls up and makes the catch, 1 away. This is only the second time in the game today that the leadoff batter has not reached base. The other time was the second inning, and that time around they had a 1-out base runner. So they've had an early man on in every inning, at least through the first 4, not yet in the 5th, but they've had somebody on base with either 1 out or no outs, and yet only once have they gotten anybody to second base. Sergio Alanis grounds it to third base, scooped up cleanly by Jonathan Wolf. His throw to first is in time. 2 down. So this is as well as Malshevsky has started any inning. As he set down the first 2 batters, he's now gotten 4 straight overall, which matches a game high for him. And here's Dan Peterson. Dan Peterson is 0 for 1 in the game. He's 0 for 9 now on the season. Flew out to left field his first time up, and he's trying to extend the 5th inning in his second at bat. He takes the first pitch low and in for ball 1. Two outs, nobody on base. Malshevsky sets for the 1-0. Swung on and flown out to left field. Vinny Schroeder backs up. Schroeder makes the grab. Inning over. A very quick 1-2-3 worked by Mac Malshevsky. He's set down the last 5 hitters consecutively, and he's got his first perfect frame of the game. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 St. Francis. St. Francis 1, Grandview 0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. John Peterson, Vinny Schroeder, and Bailey Schultz due up for the Fighting Saints, the bottom third of the order. Facing Tanner Heyman for the second time each, and Peterson takes strike 1. Peterson is 0 for 1. He flew to left field back in the second inning. Ball outside, 1-1. It's been a while since the Saints have had a base runner. The last 7 men have been retired consecutively by Tanner Heyman. That ball is floated out to shallow right center field. Tough play running in. Marcus Chiefs makes the catch. 1 out. Good play by the right fielder. Covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. Made it look relatively easy. Here's Pittsburgh's Vinny Schroeder. Schroeder is 1 for 1 in the ball game with an RBI double. The only RBI hit of the game for either team as we sit at 1-0 here in the 5th. Another good pitcher's duel. Ball downstairs on Schroeder, 1-0. It's not exactly a surprise that we've had 3 straight pitchers duels in this series as Schroeder drives it into right center field. That ball's going to split the gap, and it does drop between right and center. Schroeder's got at least 2 bases. He turns on the Jets around second, heads for third, and he's going to make it into third easily. A sliding triple for Vinny Schroeder. He's got 2 hits, including 2 extra base hits, a double and a triple. And the Saints have a chance to add another run here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Big hit there for Schroeder. His double back in the 2nd inning was just a pop-up down the left field line that dropped between 3 defenders. That ball was crushed, though, out to right center. Here's Bailey Schultz taking a first pitch strike. That hit for Schroeder, his 2nd, the team's 4th, and it snaps a string of 8 consecutive batters retired. The last base runner prior to the Schroeder triple had been Schroeder on the double in the 2nd. Ball 1 on Schultz, 1-1. He's 0 for 1, popped out to the shortstop his first time up. He doesn't need a hit here. The middle infielders are playing back. The corner men are even with the baselines. But a ground ball at either second or short or a fly ball would score the run here. He hits a grounder, but it's foul to the left side, 1-2. Heyman has only 2 strikeouts in the ball game today. That's not really his forte. But a strikeout here would be huge. If there's any time you would look specifically for that, this would probably be it. 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, so he got just what he needed. Striking out Bailey Schultz, his 3rd K of the ball game. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th inning. And we're back to the top of the order in Travis Schoonover. Schoonover is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to the pitcher and struck out looking. Still a man at third base with 2 outs now. Schoonover needs a base hit. He makes contact but fouls it straight back, 0-1. Big moment here. Mac Malshevsky's been fantastic so far, but you can't necessarily ask him to keep going with a shutout. Ball outside, 1-1. But considering, number 1, how well he's pitched, and number 2, how sluggish the Grandview offense has been over the first month plus of this season, a 2-run lead would feel awfully big after 5 innings. Schoonover takes a called strike. It's 1-2. Big at bat for Schoonover, and he's behind in the count. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Caleb McDowell. That ball had gotten by him. It would be a 2-0 game. Vinny Schroeder stands at third base. He came up with a 1-out triple out to right center field a few moments ago. Still stands at third with 2 down. A 2-2 count on Schoonover, and he takes outside, ball 3. This is the first 3-ball count since Schoonover struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch back in the 3rd. It's only the second 3-ball count of the game thrown by Tanner Heyman. Hasn't walked anybody. And Schoonover smacks it foul to the right side. Still 3-2. This could be one of the most decisive moments in the game when all is said and done. A base hit here from Travis Schoonover doubles the Saints' lead. If Heyman can get it out, any way he can get it, provides a little momentum for Grandview and keeps the deficit at just 1 run. Another 3-2 offering. In the dirt, ball 4. They're at the corners. First walk issued today by the senior lefty. Schroeder remains at third, Schoonover at first, and here's Dustin Krob. Krob has put a couple of good swings on Tanner Heyman pitches today. Lined a single into left field in the 1st inning before grounding out to third base in the 3rd inning. This is his biggest at-bat of the game. Krob trying to get this runner in from third base. He swings the first pitch, hits it hard, but on one hop right at the shortstop Tyler Smith. The throw goes to second for the force to end the inning. 6-4 on the fielder's choice, and despite a one-out triple, the Saints are unable to score in the bottom of the fifth. That takes us into the sixth inning. Still 1-0 in favor of the home team. It's still 1-0 St. Francis as we move into the sixth inning with the number 9 batter leading things off. Caleb McDowell takes a ball outside to begin the inning. McDowell is 1 for 1 with an infield single back in the third inning. One of 3 hits through the first 5 frames against Mac Malshevsky, who's retired the last 5 batters in order. McDowell drives this ball out to deep left field. Backing up is Vinny Schroeder. Schroeder's at the edge of the warning track in front of the wall. He reaches out and makes the catch. What a fantastic play by Schroeder. Schroeder on the warning track dives just in front of the wall, reaching up as far as he can, and as he tumbles to the ground, he's able to hold on to the ball. Caleb McDowell still in disbelief. He ran it all the way out to third base. And he just threw his hands up on his head. I don't know if he's just in disbelief that the ball was caught or if he doesn't believe the ball was caught, but either way, he's not happy about the way that turned out. But Vinny Schroeder has had an incredible game today. 2 hits, an RBI, the only RBI, and potentially a run-saving play right there. Certainly the defensive play of the day. We're back to the top of the order, and Connor Enox, who takes strike 1. And when you, as a team, are struggling to come up with hits and runs, not just today, but overall throughout this season, the last thing in the world you want to see is a play like that. Strike 2 on the swing. It's 0-2 on Enox. Just sometimes doesn't seem fair when you're not swinging the bats well collectively, and then finally you get a guy who's been struggling. He puts a great swing on one, takes it all the way out to deep left field, and it turns into an out anyway. Ball 1-2. In the old days, it's probably a home run. It's a deep left field here, 348 down the line, compared to just 327 out to right field. Weak ground ball to the right side, picked up by Anthony Farron. He flips it over to Malshevsky covering the bag, and he gets there just a half step ahead of Enox for out number 2. 3-1 on the putout. That brings up Drew Prange. Consider that when they put in this artificial turf last year, they had to extend the dimensions just a little bit to make sure that the field was big enough to contain an entire soccer field as well. A few years back, it's probably a home run, or at least close to it, off the bat of McDowell, and it turns into a great catch and an out here in the 6th inning today. Drew Prange takes strike 1. Or ball 1, sorry. 1-0 the count. Make it 2-0. He's 0 for 2 today. He's popped out to second base and struck out looking. Hitter's count here. He takes a called strike from Malshevsky, 2-1. 7 straight have been retired by Mac Malchevsky, trying to make it 8 in a row. Ball is popped up foul to the left side. Long run Jonathan Wolf, and it's out of his reach and out of play. But it evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking for his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. He did not have a perfect inning through the first 4. But he's really starting to get into a groove here. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch. Upstairs, ball 3. Despite having a base runner in 4 of the first 5 innings of the game, Grandview still has only had 1 man reach second and nobody reach third. But they've got another man at first base right now as Prange takes ball 4 high, a 2-out walk. And that's the last thing that Malchevsky wanted to do with 2 outs and nobody on. With a 1-run lead, he's brought the best hitter on the team to the plate with a man on. Tyler Smith is 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. He takes a ball up and away, 1-0. Smith is the only man to get into scoring position in this game. After he walked in the 4th inning, he stole second, but then was caught trying to steal third. Fouled back, 1-1. There still has not been a hit with a runner on base in today's game for Grandview. They have not had multiple base runners at a time. They're 0 for 6 as a team with runners on base. Ball inside, nearly hit him. 2-1. Still just a 1-run lead for St. Francis, so that's a big base runner over at first base as Tyler Smith takes another ball outside. 3-1. 5 of the last 6 pitches have missed the strike zone from Mac Malchevsky. Playing a dangerous game right now. Good hitters count and a throw to first base before the 3-1 to Smith. Another dangerous hitter, Isaac Rodriguez, is in the on-deck circle. The 3-1 pitch, righty to lefty. Smith takes a strike over the inside corner. The count goes full. Tyler Smith, a junior from South Africa, trying to come up with a big hit in the 6th inning today with the runner on the move. He swings and flies it out to center field. Backing up is Bailey Schultz. He's at the spot. He makes the catch, and he ends the inning. A little bit of trouble there late in the inning after a couple of quick outs. A walk, a 3-2 count on Smith, but a fly out to center field ends the threat, and Grandview leaves another man on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning with St. Francis on top, 1-0. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-0 St. Francis over Grandview University from Des Moines, Iowa. In town for the weekend and trying to avoid their 3rd straight loss to St. Francis. It's a 1-0 ball game as Jake Lasota leads things off and takes strike 1. Lasota is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Both times right back to the pitcher. He takes a strike here and the count is 0-2. The only run of the game came back in the bottom of the 2nd, an RBI double from Vinny Schroeder. Both teams have had opportunities since then. Neither team able to capitalize as Lesotho swings and misses for strike 3. The throw goes down to first base from Caleb McDowell to make it official after that pitch hit the dirt. 2-3 on the putout following the strikeout. That's the 4th strikeout of the ball game and the first out of the inning. Here's Anthony Farron. Farron is 0 for 2. He's lined out to right, flown to straightaway center. He checks his swing on the first pitch of this at-bat. Didn't go around. It's ball 1. Farron fouls this ball back off the screen to even it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Both starters still going strong for their respective teams here in the 6th inning, and nobody warms up in the St. Francis bullpen. Mac Malshevsky's gone 6 shutout frames. Farron pops it up foul to the right side, and it gets out of play. It's 1-2. Tanner Heyman's been on the mound all game for Grandview, and he's been excellent. 2 right-handers, though, are getting loose down the right field line. Both men still wearing their warm-up shirts, so they're not throwing seriously yet, but probably just in case things start to go south for Heyman. Bouncing ball to the right side in fair territory, picked up by the first baseman Luna, who carries it to the bag for out number 2. Anytime you're down 1-0 in a game like this and the opposing pitcher's got your number the way that Malshevsky has today, you've got to be a little bit more careful as far as how far you extend your pitcher. If Heyman starts to run into trouble, they may have to make a switch. Jonathan Wolf is 1 for 2 with a double and the game's only run scored. He's also grounded out to the shortstop. He takes ball 1 outside. 2 outs, nobody on base. Wolf takes inside, 2-0. Heyman has thrown 1, 2, 3 innings twice today. Once in the 3rd and once in the 4th. That was during a stretch in which he retired 8 consecutive batters. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Vinny Schroeder has reached base twice today. Other than that, nobody has been on from 6 through 9 in the order. There's a ground ball down the third base line. Charging his Prange. He gloves it. Throws on the move to first base. The throw is wild, and Jonathan Wolf is safe at first. 2-out base runner for St. Francis in the bottom of the 6th inning. Goes as an infield single. A good throw from Prange would have had him, but difficult play. So he had to charge, glove, and throw all in one motion. Potential for a 2-out rally now with Adam Cebulka digging in. Cebulka is 0 for 2. He grounded out to the shortstop in the 2nd inning. He struck out swinging to end the 4th. He's trying not to end the 6th inning. So he takes a ball in the dirt. Wolf takes off. The throw goes down to second base. And Jonathan Wolf is out at second. Caught trying to steal to end the inning. It looked like he was trying to go on the wild pitch. It was not a straight steal. He thought that the ball had gotten away from Caleb McDowell, but McDowell did a nice job of blocking that ball in the dirt and throwing down to second base in time to catch Wolf and end the 6th inning. We've got 3 innings still to play here in Joliet. St. Francis still enjoys a 1-run lead. 1-0 Saints as we start the 7th inning of play. Isaac Rodriguez set to lead things off for the Vikings. It's Rodriguez, Luna, and Chiefs due up. Isaac Rodriguez is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out. First pitch from Mac Malshevsky is swung on, grounded sharply to the right side. A sliding stop by the second baseman Peterson, and his throw to first is in time for out number 1. Good play by Peterson, retiring Rodriguez despite a solid hit. And here's Josh Luna with 1 out and nobody on. 9 of the last 10 have been retired by Malshevsky. The only blemish on the record over the last few innings was a 2-out walk in the 6th to Drew Prange. Popped up foul to the right side and out of play. Strike 1 on Josh Luna. Luna has flown to right. He's popped out to first. 0 for 2 in the ball game. The Vikings have only 2 hits in the game. Ball up and in, 1-1. A second inning single for Chase Hartleben, who has since been removed from the game due to injury. And a third inning single for Caleb McDowell. Luna hits it in the air to left center field. Pretty well hit, but easily playable for Bailey Schultz, who tracks it over to his right and makes the grab for the second out of the inning. 2 outs on only 4 pitches here in the 7th, and now Malshevsky looks for an easy 1-2-3 as he goes up against Marcus Jeeves. 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flew out to left field in the 5th inning. He replaced Chase Hartleben, who had that aforementioned single in the 2nd. There's an awkward swing and a miss. Strike 1. Malshevsky's been as good today as he's ever been in his brief collegiate career. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And he's been good through 3 starts, a .365 ERA. Not all the other numbers have been good for him, though. His whip coming in was higher than 2. He allowed 27 base runners in 12 1/3 innings. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Today he has only allowed 4 base runners over the last 5 innings, and only 5 in the whole game. We head to the bottom of the 7th at the stretch. It's St. Francis 1, Grandview nothing. As we move into the bottom of the 7th inning, the Saints still have a 1-run lead. Cebulka, Peterson, Schroeder due up against the left-hander Tanner Heyman, who's been brilliant today, but finds himself on the wrong end of the score at the moment. Cebulka swings and misses for strike 1. Cebulka was in the batter's box last inning when Jonathan Wolf was caught stealing to end it. There's a swing and a foul ball off to the right side. It's 0-2. The Saints' run came in the 2nd inning. Jonathan Wolf doubled and then scored on a 2-out, 2-bagger from Vinny Schroeder. Cebulka hits a grounder to the shortstop. Tyler Smith has it. The throw to first is high, and Cebulka is safe at first. An error on Tyler Smith allows the leadoff man to reach first base for St. Francis, and there's one case where you see a very smart head-first dive into first base from Cebulka. Usually you advise against sliding into first, but that time with the throw high, Josh Luna, the first baseman, tried to come down and apply the tag. He couldn't find Cebulka there, though, because he dove in underneath the tag. So a great move by Cebulka allows him to reach, and we've got a courtesy runner over at first base. Noah Carraro in as he tries to help extend the lead here to at least 2-0. John Peterson in the batter's box. Peterson is 0 for 2, and he bunts it back to the pitcher. Picked up by Heyman. His play is at first base, and he just barely does get Peterson at first. His throw pulled Luna close to off the bag as well, but a great stretch by Luna. Was able to hold his footing on first base and get the out. It's a sacrifice for Peterson. Carraro advances to second with 1 out for Vinny Schroeder. Schroeder is 2 for 2 with an RBI double and a triple. He's also made a great catch out in left field. He's had a whale of a ball game. He swings at the first pitch here and flies it into left center field. Isaac Rodriguez moves over into the gap and makes the catch. Schroeder is retired for the first time today. Takes just 1 pitch to do it. He is the second out of the inning. Here's Bailey Schultz. Schultz is 0 for 2. He's popped out to short. Struck out swinging in the 5th. That 5th inning at bat was a huge strikeout for Tanner Heyman. At the time, Schroeder was at third base with only 1 out. A little bit of contact from Schultz would have likely made it a 2-0 game. Instead, here we are in the 7th. It's still 1-0. And Schultz takes strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Heyman, the left-hander, sets. Next pitch to Bailey Schultz. Liner to second baseman and caught by Sergio Alanes. A hard hit ball by Schultz, but Alanes didn't have to move. The inning comes to a close. Despite the leadoff error, no runs. In fact, the inning's over just 4 pitches later. We head to the 8th with St. Francis on top of Grandview, 1-0. Into the top of the 8th inning here. It's still 1-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the order due up for Grandview, and that means Sergio Alanes gets to lead things off. He's 0 for 2. So he takes ball 1 outside from Mac Malshevsky. Strikeout in the 2nd inning, a ground out in the 5th. That's his stat line. Takes a ball up and in from Malshevsky, who has retired the last 4 batters. He's gotten 11 of the last 12 men that he's faced. There's a breaking ball over the inside corner for a called strike. It's 2-1. Next pitch is a grounder to the left side. Jonathan Wolf, 1 step to his left, gloves it, throws over to first in time. There was a slight bobble on that ball from Wolf, but it was hit hard by Alanes, and hard enough that Wolf was able to recover from that bobble, scoop the ball up, and throw it over to first in time for the out. So Alanes has grounded out to third base twice now. He's 0 for 3, and the batter is Dan Peterson. Peterson's played pepper with Vinny Schroeder out in left field. 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. And he bunts the first pitch here, back to the pitcher. Malshevsky, gloves, throws, 2 down. 2 quick outs to start the 8th inning. And the batter now is Caleb McDowell. McDowell singled in the 3rd inning. He flew out to left field when he led off the 6th, and that was the defensive play of the game. Vinny Schroeder made a great lunging grab as he fell to the ground just in front of the wall, out and left near the foul pole. McDowell takes ball 1. McDowell had only 1 hit all year coming into play today, but he has swung the bat well in this game. Ball inside, 2-0. Next pitch is a called strike. It's 2-1. The single in the 3rd was on the infield. His flyout in the 6th was as hard a ball as we've seen hit all day. He crushes this one as well out to left center, and that ball splits the gap. McDowell's got extra bases. Gliding into 2nd, he's got a double, and he pulls up there. A 2-out double for Caleb McDowell gets the Grandview bench going a little bit. They haven't had much to cheer for. There's their first hit since the 2nd inning. Make that since the 3rd inning, since McDowell's single in the 3rd inning. It's just the 2nd time all game that they've had a man in scoring position, and it comes in the 8th inning with 2 outs in a 1-run game. Back to the top of the order, and Connor Enox has a chance to drive this run in. Enox is 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. Mac Malshevsky stays in the game. First pitch to Enox misses low for ball 1. For whatever reason, this Grandview team has had trouble all day with Malshevsky, but Caleb McDowell has hit him extremely hard. A guy who only had 1 hit all season. He's got 2 in this game, and his team has only got 3. Hunter Morawski is warming up down the left field line in case there's any more problem here. The 1-0. Over the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. St. Francis is just 4 outs away from their 10th consecutive victory, but it is not going to be an easy 4 outs. A 1-run lead, and the top 4 hitters coming up for Grandview. Ball low and away, 2-1. Not only that, but the tying run is in scoring position. The only other man to reach scoring position was Tyler Smith, who walked and stole 2nd in the 4th inning, but he was caught trying to steal 3rd and put a stop to his own rally. There's a chopper to the left side. Jonathan Wolf gloves it cleanly. The 3rd baseman throws to 1st and gets Enox by a step to end the inning. Close play at first base, but in the end, Grandview is unable to get on the scoreboard in the 8th. A 2-out double from McDowell leaves a man at 2nd base, and as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, St. Francis now just 3 outs from a win, looking to add some insurance. They're up 1-0. Saints lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. They send their top of the order up, looking to add to their advantage, and Travis Schoonover, leading off, takes ball 1. Schoonover is 0 for 2 with a walk today. He's grounded out and struck out, and he takes ball 2. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Both starters have remained in the game into the 8th inning as Schoonover rips one through the right side of the infield, a base hit. Leadoff single for St. Francis. They have their leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Here's Dustin Kroeb. Kroeb has been in the batter's box 3 times today. He's seen a grand total of 4 pitches. He's hit the ball pretty hard, but has just 1 hit to show for it, a first inning single. He's also grounded out twice. There is a right-hander warming up in the right field bullpen for Grandview, but with a man on first here in the bottom of the 8th. Tanner Heyman stays in the game and misses for ball 1 on Kroeb. Heyman pitching from the stretch with a man on first base. Sets and delivers. Fly ball out to left field, not terribly deep. Connor Enoch steps in, makes the catch, retires Kroeb, and there's 1 out. That brings up Jake Lasota. Lasota is 0 for 3 in the game. He's grounded out twice to the pitcher and struck out swinging. 4 strikeouts so far in the game for Heyman. He's walked only 1, giving up just the 1 run on a couple of bloop doubles back in the second inning. If the game were to end with this 1-0 score, we might look back and say that the biggest pitch of the entire game was the foul ball hit by Jonathan Wolf. There's a line drive, softly hit into left field for a base hit over the head of Tyler Smith. Lasota safe at first. Schoonover advances to second, and there are 2 on with only 1 out as the Saints try to add to their lead. Jonathan Wolf back in the second inning hit a foul ball out to right field. Chase Hartleben was injured chasing the ball. He was limping around in the outfield grass for a little while before the training staff and the coaches came out to have a look at him. He jogged a few times back and forth to make sure he was able to stay in the game. He decided he could stay in the game, but just 1 pitch later, Jonathan Wolf hit a pop-up to shallow right field that under normal circumstances, Hartleben probably would have caught. In this case, he let it drop in front of him for a bloop double, and that's the only run that has scored so far in the game. So I think you can make a strong argument that that foul ball that injured Hartleben is the key play of the entire game. Although, again, that's only if the Saints win 1-0. If they add a few more runs here, we might not be talking about that play anymore going forward. And they've got a chance with runners at first and second, 1 out. The heart of the order coming up, Anthony Farron steps in, and Tanner Heyman will remain in the game. Grandview head coach Lou Yasinich was out on the mound for a few moments having that conversation with Heyman. It seemed as though he might be getting ready to make a switch. He's decided to stick with his senior southpaw and let him face Farron himself rather than bring in the righty to set up the righty-righty matchup. Pinch runner over at first base. Sean Harper is running in place of Lasota. First and second, 1 down. The first pitch from Heyman to Anthony Farron. Won't be made just yet. A long pause atop the mound, and Farron finally calls time. Farron digs back into the box. Heyman set once again on the mound. And now the first pitch. Farron takes ball 1 high. No, strike 1 high in the zone. Farron 0 for 3 in the ball game. He has flown out twice and grounded out to first. Heyman taking time between pitches right now. Wants to make sure everything is exactly as he needs it to be before throwing. Knowing this is a big at-bat, it could decide the game. Certainly one way. If Farron comes up with an extra base hit and scores a couple of runs, it's probably game over for Grandview. If he records the out, doesn't necessarily win the game for Grandview, but it keeps him in it. Strike over the outside corner. It is 0-2. So Heyman has Farron right where he wants him at no balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if he can put him away here. Jonathan Wolf waits in the on-deck circle. Still only 1 out in the inning. He steps off the rubber to look the runners back to their respective bases. It's Harper at first, Schoonover at second, so good speed on both bases right now. And before the 0-2 pitch to Farron, we'll have a meeting on the mound. Caleb McDowell pops out of his crouch to go talk to the pitcher. Jalen Hunter is the right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Hunter appeared in yesterday's game with disastrous results, and that may be part of the reason that Jesenich has decided to stick with Heyman, who's been very good in today's game in this key moment. Heyman may be tiring a little bit, facing a right-handed batter as well with a left-handed pitcher. Farron swings and ropes it up the middle for a base hit. Schoonover around third base, coming in to score. Heading to third base is Sean Harper. It's the third hit of the inning for St. Francis, an RBI single for Anthony Farron, and we've got a 2-0 score here in the bottom of the eighth. And that will do it for the left-hander Heyman, who was brilliant today, but not quite brilliant enough. As the call is made down to the bullpen, we'll have a pitching change with runners at the corners and one out in the bottom of the eighth inning. St. Francis now leading 2-0. I'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. In the bottom of the eighth inning, St. Francis leads Grandview 2-0, and they're threatening for more with runners at the corners and only one out. Jonathan Wolf is coming up against a new pitcher. It's right-hander Jalen Hunter on for the second consecutive game. It's his fourth appearance this season. He has no record, an ERA of 21.6. In an inning and two-thirds, he's allowed 4 runs on just 2 hits. He's got 2 strikeouts and 3 walks. And he did not look good yesterday. But Lou Jesenich brings him back out, trying to redeem himself today. He misses inside for ball 1 on Jonathan Wolf. Yesterday, Hunter came out of the bullpen in a similar situation to this, actually. Trailing late by 1 run in yesterday's game. Today, it's 2 runs. He faced 3 batters in yesterday's game. He walked all of them. Wolf swings and flies it high in the air out to right center field. This should be deep enough to get the run in. Catch is made in right field by Chiefs, but tagging from third and scoring is Harper. It's 3-0 St. Francis. A sacrifice fly for Jonathan Wolf adds to the lead. Dolan Nicholson, who is pinch running for Anthony Farron at first base, remains at first base. 2 outs in the inning for Adam Cebulka. Cebulka is 0 for 3. He reached on an error his last time up. 3 singles and a sac fly here in the 8th. They've extended St. Francis's lead to 3 runs. There's a swing and a miss from Cebulka. This game's certainly not over. A 3-run deficit is not insurmountable in 1 inning, but Grandview has not been hitting all that well throughout this series. As the runner goes, called strike at the plate. The play at second base is out, number 3, as Dolan Nicholson is caught trying to steal second base. The inning comes to a close, but the Saints score 2 runs on 3 hits. And as we head to the 9th, St. Francis is 3 outs away from their 10th straight win. They lead 3-0. Top of the 9th inning, St. Francis 3, Grandview nothing. New pitcher for the Fighting Saints is Hunter Murawski, on for his second save of the season. He's got a 2-1 record in 7 appearances this year, including an appearance in yesterday's Game 1 that was not a save chance because a couple of late St. Francis runs eliminated the save possibility. There's a fly ball to shallow right field. Backing up and making the catch is John Peterson, and on one pitch, Drew Prange is retired for out number 1. That's a good start to the inning. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game now, and Tyler Smith will try to get this rally started. If this score holds, St. Francis will have won their 10th consecutive game. Tyler Smith takes ball 1 inside for Murawski. However, it will be the first time during the 10-game streak that they failed to score at least 5 runs. This was an excellent pitcher's duel. It was 1-0 into the bottom of the 8th inning. Smith takes a strike to even the count at 1. And then St. Francis added a couple of late runs against a tiring Tanner Heyman, who was going through the batting order for the 4th time. Ground ball foul to the right side. 1-2. I think part of the reason that Louis Sinich stuck with Tanner Heyman is because he trusted his senior, who had been throwing well. But I think another part of the reason was simply that he probably didn't trust some of his key arms in the bullpen, considering the way that yesterday went. Jalen Hunter had a disastrous outing yesterday, walked all 3 batters that he faced, but today came in and he did the job, allowed 1 inherited runner to score on a sacrifice fly, but then got a caught stealing. So really only faced 1 batter and got 2 outs. There's a 2-hopper down to first base. Anthony Farron gloves it, steps on the bag, and records the second out of the inning. Grandview down to their final out. Starting to rain here in Joliet. It's been drizzling on and off for the last couple of hours, but it's picking up just a tad now. And this would be a good time to end the game and get everybody off the field. I'm sure Hunter Murawski feels the same way. His first pitch to Isaac Rodriguez is fouled off for strike 1. Rodriguez is 0 for 3. He has struck out, popped out, and grounded out. The 0-1 offering from the closer for St. Francis misses outside. Ball 1 to even up the count. Saints head back to conference play after this one. A doubleheader against St. Ambrose on Wednesday. Rodriguez takes a ball. It's 2-1. This would be their 4th straight non-conference win during this 10-game streak. Ground ball to the shortstop. Diving play. Getting to his feet. Krob's throw to first is not in time. It's an infield single for Isaac Rodriguez, and the inning continues. Just the 4th hit of the game for Grandview. First hit for Isaac Rodriguez. And had it not been for the huge insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th, that hit would have, I'm sure, gotten all the St. Francis fans in attendance to the edge of their seat right now. Just a minor hiccup as far as Murawski's concerned. He'll approach Josh Luna and not worry about the base runner. Luna takes a ball low and away. Cebulka pickoff throw down to first is not in time to get Rodriguez. Rodriguez, I think, got smacked in the face there by Anthony Farron. Pitch was in the dirt. And Rodriguez took a big lead over at first, thinking for an instant that maybe that ball would get by Cebulka, but Cebulka made a good play behind the plate to stop it. As a result, there was no chance for Rodriguez to go anywhere, but because of the big secondary lead, Cebulka tried to throw behind him and pick him off to end the game. The throw was a little bit late, the tag was a little bit late, and it was also in the wrong spot on the body for Rodriguez. The tag from Farron, it was really a no-look tag, certainly not intentional, but it got him right in the kisser. There's a fly ball out to right field. Schoonover should have no problem with this one. He's under it. He makes the catch, and there's your ball game. Saints win their 10th in a row. This one by a final score of 3-0. They outscored Grandview in a 3-game weekend series, a grand total of 16-2. And this St. Francis team playing at home this year has been nearly unstoppable as they improve their home record on the season to 11-2. And again, That includes 10 consecutive victories, 6 of them in the CCAC, and now 4 in a row out of conference. They're just playing well in every phase of the game at the moment. And it's been fun to watch here in Joliet the last couple of weeks. Again, the final score, 3-0 in favor of the Fighting Saints. They scored 1 run early. They padded the lead late, and Grandview had some base runners early in the game, but they scarcely threatened to score any runs. Only twice all afternoon did they get a man into scoring position. Once in the 4th when Tyler Smith walked and stole 2nd, but he was caught stealing 3rd. And then once in the 8th when Caleb McDowell doubled with 2 outs, but he was stranded at 2nd as Mac Malshevsky got Connor Enox to ground out to end the inning. Let's go back over the scoring in this one. It started for the Fighting Saints in the 2nd inning. Jonathan Wolf was in the batter's box with a 1-0 count. He hit a fly ball down the right field line into foul territory. Chase Hartleben ran after it and tried to make a sliding play. He couldn't come up with the catch, and he ended up hurting his leg in the process. He stayed in the game, but 1 pitch later, Wolf hit a shallow fly to right field. Hartleben was clearly in pain going after it. He limped on the chase for the ball and couldn't get to it. And a play that he normally would have made with the hurt leg, he couldn't make the grab. Wolf turned it into a double. And then 3 batters later, with Wolf still at second base, Vinny Schroeder hit a blooper down the left field line that dropped between Tyler Smith, Drew Prange, and Connor Enox. The second bloop double of the inning scored Wolf and made it 1-0. And it looked for a long time like that score would hold as Tanner Heyman settled down and was brilliant the rest of the way for Grandview, but his opponent, Mac Malshevsky, was even better. Malshevsky allowed 1 base runner in each of the first 4 innings, but no runs, and then he really got into a groove. Once he got into the 4th after the leadoff walk, he went on to retire the next 7 batters in a row and 13 of the next 14. As Grandview didn't put up much of a fight against Malshevsky the rest of the way, he ended up going 8 shutout innings. And then in the bottom of the 8th, St. Francis put it away. They got a single from Schoonover, a single from Lesota, and then an RBI base hit from Anthony Farron to make it 2-0. Jonathan Wolf's sacrifice fly made the score 3-0, and that would be the final as Hunter Morawski ended up getting the final 3 outs to pick up the save. The winning pitcher was Malshevsky, who's now 3-1 on the year. Tough luck loser Tanner Heyman falls to 1-3 this season. With the victory, St. Francis is now 14-11 on the year. They were 4-11 2 weeks ago at this time, but they've won 10 consecutive games going back to March 13th. But this homestand has been very kind to them. They've got 2 games left as part of a 12-game homestand, and they'll try to make it 12 consecutive victories. They've guaranteed no worse than a 10-2 record on the homestand. Grandview, with the loss, falls to 3-10 as they drop 3 in a row to the Saints over the weekend. Our next broadcast will be here in Joliet on Wednesday afternoon, a 1 o'clock start time against St. Ambrose for a doubleheader. And that gets us back into conference play. St. Francis, St. Ambrose, a CCAC doubleheader here at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and you'll be able to catch the action if you're not in attendance through GoFightingSaints.com on the St. Francis YouTube and Facebook pages as always. That's going to do it for today's game. St. Francis beats Grandview 3-0. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves as the Saints wrap up a 3-game weekend sweep. Until Wednesday, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.